Hey guys, it's Lawrence from Lawrence Creates, and today I'll be starting a new series that I am calling Let's Make It Better. Now, basically what I'll be doing is going around Steam, finding games that I think could definitely be improved, showing you guys how I would personally improve the games, and it's just meant to be a bit of an educational time for both just anyone wanting to know and the developer themselves. So when I'm making these videos, I mean no disrespect to any of these developers, I am merely giving my input as to how you could potentially make these games better. So the first game we have here is called Spin Fighters. Now this is a very simplistic game on the surface where you are basically just rotating turret or paddle thing, and you basically just hit away the enemies. And if you do that, you get a score, and if the enemies touch the base of your turret, then you bomb out. So let's go ahead and first just develop the base of this game. So what I've done here is I've gone ahead and developed basically my interpretation of just a normal version of this game. So basically, it's exactly the same as what I can see from the Steam trailer. You're just a paddle that you can rotate, you hit away the enemies gaining score, and if enough enemies hit you, you will get hit with the game over screen. This little demo I made does also have a simple high score system using the player prefs. So the first thing we really need to focus on getting this game better than its original state is really user feedback. Whenever we hit enemies right now, there is nothing that happens besides the score being impacted. We don't want that. That doesn't feel good. We want something to happen, whether it's a particle effect, camera shake, sound, or preferably all of those things together. So let's start with the particle system. So you can see with the particle effect, it is better, but it's not quite there. So I'm going to go ahead and add some camera shake and sound, and I'll get right back to you. So as you can see, just by adding some particle effects, camera shake, and some sound, the impact of actually destroying your enemy here is much more substantial than if you didn't have it at all. And it just gives the player just that feel-good feeling for playing your game. So something that you don't want to do is having delayed feedback. Now what I mean by that is, let's just say you have a swarm of enemies and you shoot every single one of them. If you have a sound or some text that doesn't reset fast enough whenever that enemy gets shot or dies, then it's going to have this delayed sort of feedback feeling, and that is terrible for the player. You either want to have a different feedback for killing a swarm of enemies, or you want to have your feedback reset fast enough for every single enemy. If you don't do that, it is an absolutely horrible experience for anyone that plays your game. So in terms of visuals, especially for this particular game, because you're only using literally rectangles and circles, you need to add something else above it. Now, if you had more gameplay, more mechanics, then you might get away with like the less visuals that you have, making some sort of simple idle game, but has a mechanic there that keeps the users engaged. For this particular game, because there's not much substance in terms of gameplay, you really want to add to the visuals. And the simplest way to do that is to literally just give everything glow and bloom, and just change all the colors to something more appealing. So now I'm going to work a bit of my magic on this game. I'm going to add what I think the game needs in order to make it slightly more engaging than it already is. And when I'm done, I'll show you guys the end result. So as you can see, the game has pretty much taken a drastic turn. I have changed quite a bit in terms of the visuals. Now, it's actually super simple doing this. Now, with the old game, you just had filled in circles and cubes and rectangles, and honestly, it's so simple just to add a bit of visual interest. I just use Photoshop, I put in some squares with white outlines, and circles as well, and that just allows me to change the outline color in the Unity engine. Doing this is so much better than just having a filled in circle or a filled in square. It just adds more visual interest. And on top of that, I've added power-ups, a level system, and an EXP system. So essentially, every time you level up, you will get the ability window, which will allow you to select any ability you want. And then there's also a new type of enemy, which is basically that green type. It moves faster. However, upon destruction of that enemy type, you'll get the ability window pop up, which will allow you to select an additional ability. This basically just gives the game a little bit more replayability because users are able to experiment with their runs. They're able to select whatever power-ups they want. They can change it every single time with a different outcome each time. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. I do hope you've learned something new, and I do hope that you have also enjoyed the video. If you guys want to see more of this particular type of series, please just leave a comment down below and let me know. And on top of that, if you guys maybe want me to make a game that perhaps you have seen, just leave that in the comments as well, and I'd be more than happy to check it out. Again, I'd very much appreciate a like on the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.